For support court with Judge Vanderby. Judge, this is case number JVB1069, Franklin case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Franklin, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Judge Vandam. My son was killed 3 months ago. I have a granddaughter that's 9 years old. I've had custody of her since she was a baby. After his death and funeral, Kim decides she wants to come to my house and remove her. Brought the police to my house.
After the funeral?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. She did. She did that. As traumatic as it was for me and my family, she decided to remove Rakisha with the police, caused a scene, which she's done in the past.
A child's fate hangs in the balance. Love, blood, and the fight for custody in a heart-wrenching custody battle. A devoted grandmother, Miss Franklin, stands firm against the return of the child's long-absent biological mother. After years away, the mother's sudden reappearance raises one pivotal question. Should custody be determined by blood, or by what's truly best for the child? Miss Franklin argues that the mother's history is marred by substance abuse and instability. The mother insists she's changed and wants a second chance. Now, the court must decide. Can a troubled past be forgiven in light of a hopeful present? Or does consistent love and stability outweigh biology? The judge faces a solemn task, balancing rights, redemption, and responsibility, all while keeping one truth at the center. The child's well-being must come first.
I'm here today for grandparents' rights. I've had my granddaughter since she was a baby. She doesn't even know who this lady is. She knows that she's her mother, but as far as knowing who she is, and with her lengthy past, when I say
When
lengthy,
you say lengthy past, what do you mean by that?
drugs, drinking, fighting, beating the system.
Beating the system.
Yes.
How did she do that?
Welfare, food stamps, housing, anything that's not legal, she's done.
But Rakisha, I said her name right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, she lives with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And prior to your son's death, did your son live with you too, or was Rakisha just living with you?
Only Rakisha, absolutely not. He could not live with me.
Okay, I understand.
But
so how was she getting benefits if her daughter lived with you?
Because, as I mentioned earlier, both of them love to beat the system, and they used my grandchild against me and my husband just so that they can continue to beat the system. I did put my son on child support.
Okay.
That I absolutely did.
And now you're wanting child support from mom.
I want child support and full custody of my granddaughter.
A courtroom crossroads. Can redemption outweigh the past? The judge's empathy for Miss Franklin is unmistakable. Still grieving a recent loss, she now fights to keep custody of the granddaughter she's raised with unwavering love. But in the eyes of the court, emotion must take a back seat to law. And, above all, to the child's need for stability. The mother's sudden return is shadowed by a troubled past, marked by addiction and absence. She claims transformation, but the question remains, has she truly changed, or is it too little, too late? Now, the court faces a painful dilemma. Should a mother's biological right grant her another chance, or should the consistent care of a devoted grandmother carry the greater weight? The odds are steep, the scrutiny is intense, and for the mother, the road to redemption and reunification has never looked steeper.
Okay. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
Oh, absolutely, yes. When she brought the police to my house, she told them that I threatened her, and she threatened me. She threatened to kill me. I said, absolutely not, Your Honor. What I told her when she called, I said, you know what? If you come over here, I'm not going to be in control. Smith and Weston going to be in control.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't get that far, did it?
Well, it didn't because the police drug her from my front yard.
Oh, okay. And I'm sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, is there anything else you need me to know before I move over to her?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I didn't catch your last name. I just heard your first name is Kim.
That's what I want to say. I'm a fan. It's Kim Bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
Yes.
How do you spell it?
Boudure.
Oh, okay. Is that French?
Yes.
Okay. Well, can I call you Lady B?
Yes.
I
Or
think
you can
I'll
call me
butcher
Kim. You can call me
Kim.
Miss
Okay.
Kim.
I think I'll butcher that last name too much.
Okay.
Okay. So, is all of what she's saying true? You had a history with drugs, drinking. She said you're cheating the system, getting welfare. What it sounds like is that your daughter has been living with her this entire time. So, I mean, is what she's saying true?
The whole thing is, it's the past, you know.
So it is true. The answer is yes.
Some of it is, yeah.
Okay, which part of it is true?
As far as maybe some of the illegal drug activity that her son and I both partake in, you know, some of that is true, but as far as the food stamps and all that, it's not. She's just going by hearsay, by what people are telling her, just using it.
Redemption or reality. A mother's past collides with a grandmother's devotion case takes a dramatic turn as the biological mother steps forward, openly acknowledging her troubled past, yet insisting she's changed. She claims she's been rebuilding a bond with her daughter, but the question looms, is that enough? For the child's entire life, Miss Franklin has been the steady hand, the caregiver, the protector, the provider. In contrast, the mother hasn't offered financial support and has other children being raised in different households. While her desire for a second chance may be genuine, the court must decide whether that desire outweighs a child's need for consistency and security. Family courts are clear on one principle: the child's stability comes first. The mother may plead for a fresh start, but without a history of consistent presence or support, the judge may see more risk than readiness. Is her transformation real, or just too late?
You know, in this case, as she stated, as far as coming to get my kids, you know, with the police and stuff, that's true.
Okay.
Because I need Rakisha, to come and be with her mom. You know, she's getting older, and so is she, you know. So
that wasn't nice. She's been taking care of your daughter. So what difference would it make if she's getting older?
She has been, again, all of these words are past tense. It's 2022, and it's time for my daughter to come home with me.
But she hasn't lived with you.
She hasn't, because I was working on my career and getting myself together, you know, so I can be the mom that I need to be. And, you know, I've done that. And unfortunately, you know, Ricky passed, you know, rest his soul. And it's time for my daughter to come home with her mother.
Okay.
I'm not the woman that I used to be, Your Honor.
All right. But you are still the woman she doesn't know, your daughter, right?
Well, actually, and she doesn't know that, I've been talking to Rakisha for about 4 or 5 months now.
Talking to her about what?
Talking to her, letting her know, you know, first of all, reaching out, letting her know that it's unfortunate that our dad passed, and letting her know that I want us to get our relationship together. I want to be the nurturing mother that, you know, that she needs.
Okay, so as of right now, you're a stranger, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say strangers.
Well, it's not necessarily what you want to say, it's what the facts say. You're a stranger to this child that you came and attempted to remove from her caretaker, right?
She's been taking care of her, yes, and I commend her for that, but my daughter needs to be with her mother.
All right, but you do understand that your daughter needs to be in an environment that's stable, where she is familiar with the person that is taking care of her.
Okay, she has to get familiar with her. I am working. I, make good money. I've been paying insurance, so it's not like I've been totally out the picture.
Let's talk about that. How much money do you make?
About $70,000.
$70,000. How much? You say insurance as well?
Yes, I pay $170 a month.
All right. How much of that have you given to grandmother?
A stunning revelation shifts the custody battle egg. Pivotal twist rocks the courtroom as the judge reveals a critical detail. The mother earns a substantial income, $70,000 a year, yet has provided no financial support for her daughter until now. It's a turning point that could reshape the entire case. Child support loss comes sharply into focus. The court views a parent's failure to contribute, despite having the means, not just as negligence, but as a serious breach of responsibility. As the judge begins calculating back payments, a mother's discomfort is unmistakable. Will this revelation tip the scales for good? With the final ruling looming, the court must decide. Is this a case of genuine reform or convenient timing? Either way, the consequences are about to become very real.
And it's not a hard question if you've actually done anything. I mean,
Well, I can say none then. Let's just, be done with it. None.
so you make all of this money and you haven't given grandmother anything for your daughter?
Well, her dad has been taking care of the child support and everything up until this
Right,
point.
but what
so
were you doing?
I was paying the insurance.
Okay. So you were paying the insurance.
Yeah.
Your daughter living with someone else.
Well, she the one wanted to raise her.
But ma'am, it is your daughter.
It's my daughter. I paid the insurance. She wanted a raise her. The dad did the child support. We all just did our part.
You obviously came here to waste my time.
Not really.
It sounds like it. It sounds like you're trying to evade the obligation of paying child support or paying any type of financial support for this child
I'm paying
because you want to do what you want to do. Insurance is not sufficient, ma'am.
Oh.
Grandmother can pay insurance if she needed to,
But she hasn't.
well, she can't do it without a modification to your court order. That's the reason she's here.
Okay, so can my daughter go home with me?
Final verdict. Justice for the child. Not a second chance for the parent. Judge's ruling is in, and it delivers both accountability and clarity. The mother will be required to pay $923 per month in child support and maintain her daughter's health insurance. But the true bombshell came moments later. Custody will not be granted to the mother. In a firm and resounding decision, the court awarded full custody to Miss Franklin, the grandmother who has selflessly provided love, care, and stability throughout the child's life. The judge made one thing clear. This case was never about offering the mother a second chance. It was about safeguarding the child's best interests, and in the eyes of the court, that meant keeping her right where she feels safe, secure, and truly at home with her grandmother. A tumultuous chapter has closed, bringing long-awaited peace to a young life caught in a crossfire, and affirming that in family court, civility still matters most.
No, she cannot. She is going to stay and remain with the person who's always taking care of her. You haven't said anything different to support that grandmother has not been doing the job you should have been doing. So what we're going to do is, based on your own testimony, and I believe you told the truth,
I did.
$70,000 a year, and that's giving you credit with the $170 health insurance. Your gross is $5,663. That brings your net to $4,613. You have one child, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, 20% of that brings your monthly child support obligation to $923. And as I stated, you are still to maintain the health insurance.
That's over $1,000.
And no, it's not. It's under $1,000.
So 9 something plus the 170?
No, you got credit. The
Oh, okay,
170 was
okay,
given
okay.
in your gross. So you got credit for that. $923 a month. It's what's fair. It's what's in the best interest of your daughter. Your daughter is going to remain with her grandmother.
Just when it seemed over, a final blow shatters the mother's case. The courtroom begins to settle. A new bombshell detonates. The mother has 3 additional children, all living with different families, and she hasn't paid child support for any of them. The judge's patience snaps. Though her monthly support is reduced to $680 to account for her other obligations, it's not the financial penalty that delivers the harshest blow. It's the judge's scathing rebuke. Her attempt to prove she's changed implodes under the weight of her own contradictions. What was meant to be a moment of redemption becomes a moment of reckoning. Then comes the parting shot, a cold, cutting reality check. You should have kept your mouth shut. The courtroom falls silent. Her credibility? In ruins. What began as a fight for custody ends with a crushing lesson in accountability, and a child's best interests once again at the center of it all.
Okay. Anything further, Miss Franklin?
Yes, Your Honor. This lady just sit here and perjured the court. She has 3 other children that lives with 3 other different daddies.
Oh, wow.
And you know, she had more miles on her than Route 1604.
Okay, well, Miss Franklin, hold on one second. Do you have other children?
Yes.
So why didn't you say that?
Because, you know, unfortunately, like Rakisha, they live with their dads and their other parent, you know, other side of the family too.
Are you paying child support for them as well?
No.
No. Oh, okay. So you're just not doing anything.
I'm paying insurance for them too.
Oh, right. So beyond insurance, you haven't done anything for them. Is that what I'm hearing? How many other children do you have?
3.
So you have 3 other children. We have to manipulate your child support amount. So
it should be lower.
let's see. Let's see how much lower it'll be. All right. Your child support is lower. It went to $680.
Oh, should have kept your mouth shut.
No, you know, first of all, that was rude. Secondly, she's being honest. You are not being honest. But that's okay. You don't have to be honest with me because you know what? One day you're going to have to answer to each of your children. And that is going to be your battle to fight with them.
Well, at least they'll know I took care of them by paying their insurance.
Oh, okay. And they'll also know you're a stranger. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Your Honor.